friends, welcome back to At Home with Chic and Grace. So I thought I recorded making this and I only recorded part of it, so I loved it so much I am going to do another one for you. So let's just quick run through the supplies that we're going to need for this. So first of all, this is one of my frames, a DIY kit, and they're interchangeable. Typically they are, let me just grab this quick. Okay, I just want you to see the difference. Typically it sits flush in there, but this guy, because the butterfly is bigger than the insert and it's bigger, like it sits on the frame, I put two inserts together. But if you order a frame and a blank insert, I'll give you the option to add on these little risers. Just pretend these are glued onto the back, right? So they could be glued onto the back of this, and then they would sit up. And actually, look how cute that is, raised up and glued. It just gives dimension having that frame piece recessed. So I'm going to be doing more like that, that's for sure. Okay, so, and I know normally you always see me have white frames too, but this to me is perfect like this. Now, right now, this little butterfly cutout is available on my Chalk Couture website, and it's 2 layers. Once it's not available there anymore, then I can cut it out and sell it, I believe. I would have to double check on the rules there, but anyways, it would be 2 separate links to get the frame and then get the butterfly, but you need this anyhow, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so then you can get the transfer too. So it does come with two pieces. It also comes with these glue dots you can cut and glue the 2 layers together, and they are MDF. Okay, the other thing you can get off the Chalk website is the gold gilding wax, and I use that. And and this is Dixie Belle. Yes, it's Dixie Belle's gold gilding wax. I wanted to make sure I was saying the right name. Sunset Drive. The other thing I used is the Behr dark antiquing wax, and then of course clear. Like, this is a staple that I use on almost every project, no matter what we're doing. And then this background is now this is discontinued, but there are still shops out there that have it. This is the IOD paint-inlay Lattice Rose, and I had originally bought it for this pattern, and I haven't actually done what I wanted to do yet, and that'll hopefully be coming out in another video. But let me show you what else is in here. So then you get this damask, and you get 2 sheets of everything. So then the one that I wanted it for, you get 2 sheets of it. There it is there. And then I actually didn't know what I was going to do with this one, and yesterday the light bulb just went on, so I'm loving it. And then you also get this. I love this. It looks like wallpaper, and like, you know, the old striped wallpaper that we used to get that had flowers intertwined into it. So it reminds me of, and I really like it. So said, I know you can still get it from some shops, so you just have to give that a Google. And again, it is Lattice Rose. Oh, one more thing that I used, no, 2 more things. My goodness, I'm all over the map. I used Fusion Mineral Paint, Bellwood, to paint that, and I don't have it sitting in front of me because I just had a little bit left in my jar, so to make it easier I put it into here. And then I did use Dixie Belle Clear Coat in flat, and I inlaid this into the clear coat. I didn't inlay it into the paint. So I have been doing that lately with a few pieces, and I really like the results of inlaying it into the clear coat. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get an insert base coated with Bellwood, and then I'll come back. I am going to try and see if I can get this inlay to transfer again into the clear coat. I'm not sure if we can or not. If we can't, that's okay. Then we will just cut another piece. So with chalk paint, you can get multiple uses out of it. And then they just get like more faded each time, but this looks like it still has a ton on there. But I don't know if I've heard mixed results about using it with clear coat. Some say you can't use it again, others say you can. We're gonna give it a try and find out. All right, so I'll be back once I have another insert base coated for you. All right, so two other things I forgot to tell you. That I base coated the butterfly in Fusion Mineral Paint Casement, and I just did it with my little makeup sponge. I think I did 3 light coats, and you can still see some of it through there. It's not perfect coverage, but I'm fine with that. So these are dry, and the other thing is you'll need a sponge. And then of course like your paint brushes and things like that. Okay, I only did 1 coat of Bellwood, and now I'm just going to give it a light sanding. So anyhow, when we are done putting both these on, we are going to do a second sanding on them to just dress them a little bit more. Just gonna shake that up really good. Spray bottle is what I want up. This is just one of those mister bottles. And I just want a fresh, clean brush here. Okay. So I have already cut this one, and remember, I don't know if this is going to work. This is the second application of this. If it doesn't work, that's a-okay. We'll cut a new one and start over. So okay, I was just getting the right side up here. All right, so let's get a nice even coat of the clear matte, and again this is Dixie Belle Clear Flat. You don't want drips down the edge, otherwise your insert isn't going to fit back in. It doesn't matter how you put this on. I just tend to always go in the same direction when I'm doing it. Okay, so it's on there, and you don't want this to dry, so I'm going to just spray this. Just making sure, yep, it's still all wet there. Okay. So let's get it lined up, and maybe if you start at the top and then kind of work your way down a little bit there. I'm not quite all the way to the top. It's going to be fine. I just have a wrinkle. You do have a tiny bit of play, but not much. It was already starting to transfer, so this is going to work. This is going to work. Yay! Hope I'm not getting excited over nothing. I'm going to spray this again. I'm going to grab a baby wipe. You could use a damp paper towel. Let's give it some good pressure and rub over top of it. You could use a brayer for this too. This is just what I have found works great for me. Now, I have not tested how long you can leave this on with clear coat, but what I have heard others say is that you want it to just be dry. So, other words, you don't want to like leave it overnight because it's clear coat we're setting it in and not paint. But I haven't tried it yet. Maybe one of these days I will. But for right now, we are just going to take it and set it to the side. I found that by the time I was done this butterfly, this was dry and ready to go. So I'm just going to set it up there. Get this out of my way. Okay. So I'm just getting my clear wax. Now, you probably could get away with not even waxing this because, and this is already fuzzed, but normally you would fuzz it again, because there is hardly anything that is touching this butterfly as far as the sticky part of the silk screen. So we won't even wax. We'll need that clear wax later though. So just make sure that you've got it as even as you would like it. The blue is not getting the color on it. Does that make sense? Okay. And then, oh, I left my clipboard upstairs that I always put this on and spray it. Oh well, I'll have to take this right upstairs when I'm done then. Okay. So, Sunset Drive and our squeegee, and we are going to just squeegee all over. Okay, see how beautiful that is? Let's let it dry. And in the meantime, we can take our gold gilding wax. And I'm just using a scrubby brush. I just have some brushes that are, they're called scumblers. And I just keep them set aside specifically for like my waxes. So I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to any direction that I was going with this, and some of it got on the edges, and I was actually okay with that. Like, I like the gold on the edges for this project. So, and I did get it down inside the little holes at times. And all I did to get it out was I just went around with a Q-tip or something. The Q-tip won't fit in all of them, but for the most part, I could get it out. You could, let's just try and see what happens if we use our sponge. Sure, you could. Why not? Actually, works better. And then you don't get it down in those grooves. You don't have to clean it out. Actually, it is applying a lot faster. Let's use our finger sander here. You have more control with this finger sander. So I'm going to sand the edges again and get into some of these spots. I thought about painting this up because if you've watched my latest videos, you know that I'm decorating with blues and really soft yellows and whites for summer. And I thought about doing this up, and I still might because I've got one more of these left, in blue and yellow. I just don't know what I would do for the background. So we'll see. We'll see if I actually do that. Okay, so we gotta wait for this to dry, but see how pretty that is on there. So once this is dry, I gave this a light sanding as well, and then we're gonna glue it on. So this is still pretty wet. You could hit this with the dryer if you want. Sometimes it's best to just let it dry naturally. Okay, so once things are dried up, we'll be back. Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Totally forgot to show you the next step here. So I did take the clear wax, and we are really getting to the bottom of the barrel on this one. And I went all over this butterfly with the clear wax. If you're new and watching me, the reason why I do that is because we're going to go over it with some antiquing wax right now. And if you get your coverage too heavy with your antiquing wax, having a layer of clear wax under it helps you to be able to wipe it back a lot easier. You could always go on dark wax and then clear wax to try to wipe some of it back, but this works better. Plus, if you wanted to leave it like this, the clear wax helps protect it. Okay, so all I did was hit my edges and I think I probably went around this a couple times. But I wiped back in between. And if you get like a big glob like that on there, that's like that. That is just fine. Take a paper towel, wipe it back. And because this is MDF, those edges where it's sand, it's really going to show up lovely there. So let's say you decided you didn't like that because I've got the clear wax on there. All I need to do is clear wax on and wipe back off. This goes on. Let's give this a quick sanding here. I want a more aggressive sander. I have these sanding blocks. They've got fine on one side and a more aggressive on the other side. I'm going to sand this off camera. I'm just going back and forth. Sand off. Like do too much sanding or you will sand like right down to the MDF. I am not using my clear wax. I am just taking my dark wax and doing my edges. Yeah, I'm really liking that. It's a little bit more than my other one. Like this, the wax is darker on this, and I like it. I like them both. I just a little heavy right there. Let's just see. Yeah, so if you wanted to, just go back on with some gold if you want, but I liked it dark like that. Anywhere that you think you want more gold, just go back on with it. It's actually kind of nice if it just kind of hits some edges a little bit. But it looks like it's old and worn. Okay, let's just get these guys out of the way. We are going to use these again, but not until our inlay is completely dry. So we'll just put them to the side. And let's get this glued together. Oops, I have some on the back. Okay. So I am using either my Aleene's Tacky glue or my Titebond Quick and Thick. I can't remember which one I put in here. I should have labeled it. I put the tape on it to remind myself, but I don't remember which one it is. I did lift this corner a little bit. It's definitely going to be lighter than the last one, and that's okay. That's what we're expecting. So this is cool to the touch, but it's dry. So I'm going to spray it. Whoops. And wipe that back. This just helps it to release. So if you're having problems having it pull up and release, then you'll want to add some, spray it again with water. Oh, this is lovely. And yes, look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It is definitely lighter. So you can put this aside and use it again. So we know it works with clear coat. Would it have transferred even more with paint? I don't know. So like there's the original. This is what we've got. So it is a lot more subtle, but that is a-okay. So I'm going to dry this up. We're going to give this a little bit of a sanding. We are going to antique it and get our butterfly put on. And I'll grab a white frame just so you can kind of see what it looks like in that. All right. Okay, so it's all dry, and I want to take sandpaper and hit the edges. On the original one, I actually sanded over this, but because this is so distressed, you don't even need to, unless you were wanting it even more distressed. So I am just hitting the corners and the edges. Okay, then gosh, I can't remember now. Yes, I do remember. Okay, before we do the wax, we need to seal this. So when I did the other one, for the first time, I tried sealing it without spray. So you do this at your own risk because this is a paint inlay. It can be reactivated. And so I would usually go outside with like a clear matte spray, like a Krylon or a Rust-Oleum matte spray. But yesterday, for the first time, I went right over top of this with the Dixie Belle clear coat, and it was fine. I don't know if that's because we put it into the clear coat to begin with. I'm still not going to go over it a whole bunch of times. Got a piece of lint in there. Whoops. Sure, now I'll have to get that out. Yeah, so I'm not going to still go over it a whole bunch, but we do need to seal it in there. And then we're going to do some extra waxing. that's it. We're gonna let that dry. So let's take our clear I'm just going over the whole thing with my clear. And then all I want to do is hit my edges. I like it a little heavier on the corners, so I'm walking it in just a little bit on the corners. You could also take some of your gold and rub it on the corners. I've done that on projects before, and that also looks really nice. And you can layer it, or if you don't like it, just go back over it with your antiquing wax. But just hitting those corners just a little bit. Yeah, that, to me, that just finishes it. It just looks like there was some gold gilding on there and it's just worn off. See that? Yeah, the light is catching it. It's lovely. Okay. So now our butterfly, we need to glue her on. Yeah, that's so, so pretty. So I brought over the white frame, and I actually really like this faded background in the white frame. So actually, before, what do I do with those risers? Before we do anything else, we need to, oh, they're right in front of me. We need to glue these risers on. Okay, so the back pieces are dry. I actually went ahead and glued this on. I did do a smidge of measuring. It's still not 100% dry in place here, but I just made sure that I was basically the same distance at the top, and then I did the bottom too, and they're not exactly the same. Like this distance isn't the same as this distance, but this is what I thought looked good. And then I just made sure that I just eyeballed it and made sure that they were good on the sides there. So now it just pops right into place with those little risers. Okay, I can already see something that has to be changed with these risers. Maybe they need to go all the way to the edge. Okay, I want to show you what it looks like in this frame. One thing I had to change was these pieces, you have to make sure they are right up at the edge, especially on the bottom. Otherwise you put it, because before I had them glued up a little bit more, so I had to pop them off and bring them right down so that they fit right in the frame. Otherwise, when you stand it up, it would fall down. So this way it stays in there nicely. So that works just as well as putting two together. But this way saves on wood. So that is yeah, a way better alternative. Okay, so there they both are. And I love both the looks, and I actually really love how this is in the white frame. So you'll have the option to Obviously, you can order as many inserts as you want with the frames, but you will now have the option to add risers. I just really like this look, how it is lifted up a little bit. All right, well, thanks for joining me, and we will see you in the next one, and I'll post some styling videos at the end. Okay, bye.